And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Signposts Live. Hope you're all doing well today. And so we have another exciting episode today. We're going to be taking any topics on current events that you guys want to discuss, or if you have any other forms of questions you can look in that you want to share through the chat. You're more than welcome to do so. We'll also be taking a little bit more look into the Israel situation, as I'll be doing a tarot reading on that, as we talked about it a while back. So we'll be looking into that today as well. So again, hope you're all doing well, and we're going to go ahead and start off firstly with some announcements, then we'll be getting right into the broadcast today. So first and foremost, you can use the promo code STARTDEC20, start December 20, for 20% off your order altogether. You can go to etherics.co. Our source flashlights have really been doing an amazing job, not just so much with how I've been personally using them, but people in that sense who have purchased the source flashlights are receiving incredible benefits. You can find some amazing testimonials, reviews on the product page of the source flashlights. We also have the source laser pens that are also available. We're going to be getting a couple more products coming in this month as well too, including the wall arrays or the bilocators. We're going to be looking into the eye masks as well too. So there's more coming in at the time of December. They're being sent to me through freight, which takes a few weeks. So this is why it's been a bit of a delay in trying to get them to me, but hopefully it will not take too much longer. So when those new products are arriving, I'll be talking about them as well too. But again, you can go to etherics.co. You can also check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ethericsstore. I'm also going to be putting up some tutorial videos for all of the products that are on Etherics. These video tutorials will give you a very strong outline about how they work, how you can utilize them, and the benefits that they provide as well too. So you can check out the Etherics YouTube channel for that information as well too. So again, promo code STARTDEC20, all capital letters with 20, and that will get you 20% off of your order. Okay, moving on. Private sessions, distance healing sessions, 3-question private email sessions, and full body source healing sessions are available. You can get that through newearthteachings.com. We also have the standalone nutrition scan. This can also be utilized as an add-on if you're getting the full body source healing session. But again, this is also a standalone. We're scanning the vitamins, the minerals, the amino acids, and the genetic conditions within your body. It is extremely beneficial, highly beneficial. And like I said, if you want to add that to the full body scan, or again, just have it as a standalone, it'd be very, very beneficial for yourself. So again, you can find that also on newearthteachings.com. And the Bosnia tour, explore the ancient sun pyramid, larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, healing chambers within the pyramid and its construction is going to be revealed by Adronis, ancient healing practices and environmental healing, which I will be personally teaching the people that are going to be coming with me, and witnessing the sacred sites and harnessing sacred power to take back home with you. So again, taking that power of the pyramids and imbuing it in stones, in jewelry, so that you are bringing that back with you. And as long as you have that, that will permanently be with you, and you can enjoy the healing energy that comes with it. So again, this is taking place September 15th to September 22nd in 2024, 7 days and 8 nights, and you can register now at www.wowtours.de. And everything on this YouTube channel is backed up onto our Odyssey channel, New Earth Teachings backup channel, with odyssey.com/@NewEarthTeachings. I have had a couple of dings from YouTube already about taking down some of the old New Earth insights. Okay, so basically, for safety reasons, the old New Earth insights videos are going to be taken down from the YouTube channel, but you can find them on Odyssey, right? So if you want to look at those old New Earth Insights lives, you can find them on odyssey.com/@NewEarthTeachings. I'm constantly having YouTube breathing down my back because we've talked about some very, very deep information when I was doing the New Earth Insights, looking into a lot of that stuff. This is why I've kind of retracted back a little bit, because YouTube is really, their censorship mafia, so to speak, is really cracking down on anything in regards to specific keywords or specific algorithms. So they've basically been removing a couple of videos already through the old New Earth Insights live, right? So again, not to worry, the New Earth Insights are available on odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. So if you want to check them out there, you certainly can. But yeah, YouTube is very much cracking down on all that stuff. Again, like I said, that's the censorship, right? They just look for certain keywords because I have talked about certain things with particular political leaders, particular scandals that were happening. And this is why we basically have to kind of talk about it in code, right? You can't really just blurt it out nowadays in YouTube. It really needs to be kind of more of a coded talk, coded conversation. Even if we're talking about Israel today, there's still certain things that need to be kind of kept in code, right? Because YouTube is just really firing up on all cylinders, working with algorithms and trying to clear that out. I think that's the first thing I should be looking at, is this entire censorship agenda pertaining to YouTube, because I have people I know who have had their YouTube channel taken down, of course, going back about a year and a half ago, where Tarot by Janine had her own channel taken down as well too. She's also on Rumble right now, so you can find her on Rumble. Also good news is that I will be doing an interview with Janine on January 5th. Okay, so January 5th, 2024 is our next interview together. So we're going to be having that on the Friday. It'll be at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Janine will be here. It's going to be a Zoom call that will be broadcasted simultaneously here onto YouTube, so you guys can also ask her questions as well too. We're basically just going to be taking semi-personal or general questions, but you can basically ask her anything. So we also have to kind of speak in code, okay? Unfortunately, there's a lot of, like I said, cracking down on YouTube channels that are talking about alternative information, I guess I'll put it in that way, about really the whole truth of certain matters. And it's just funny how YouTube phrases these things and saying, oh, anything that goes against the rhetoric of the World Health Organization or anything that we've gotten in the mainstream news, if you go against that, we're going to take your content away. And like I said, this has been happening for a very long time. But again, I think it's good to look into the YouTube censorship first, and then I'm going to look into more about Israel. And then I'll be looking into your guys' questions. Okay, so your guys' questions on topics, on current events, or anything else that you want to discuss here on the Signposts. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that first and foremost, about YouTube censorship and where is this going to be going as we move into 2024. Okay? Not just YouTube censorship, but basically internet censorship, right? What is the flow and progress and momentum of the entire internet censorship, and where is this going to be going as we move further into 2024, okay? Karen says maybe it's time for YouTube to crash. I think if they keep carrying on in the way that they do, like I said, they've already lost some really powerful creators, people in that sense who have really drawn amazing subscribers. A lot of those subscribers are going to places like Rumble. Some of them are going into Odyssey as well too. They're going into alternative channels where they're not, where their stuff is not being taken down. A lot of people are building up Telegram channels. Like, I'm not really on my Facebook anymore. I'm hardly on Facebook at all. Sometimes I'll give a little bit of promotion here and there with regards to the YouTube or with Etherics, but I'm not really on Facebook anymore because it's just garbage. Facebook is garbage. Twitter is garbage. YouTube pretty much is garbage. But I'm here because I have all you guys, right? I have 67,000 subscribers, so I want to make sure I'm staying here for you guys. But yeah, if it wasn't for that, I'd probably be on Rumble, or I'd probably just stay on Odyssey or something of that nature, right? So again, we want to look in to find out exactly where the censorship agenda is headed as we progress further into 2024. So let's go ahead and take a look at that with the tarot and see what comes up. All right, let's see. I think there's going to be some proceedings relating to that. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more. I'm not too sure if they're doing like Senate hearings in regards to YouTube and Google and Facebook and all of them, right? All the big tech companies in that sense. Feels like they're going to be going under the microscope here very, very strongly here. And it feels like there's going to be some major lawsuits that are going to be coming. And I feel like the hammer's coming down on them. Perhaps it could be 2024, okay? So we're going to be seeing some things starting to turn around because this is basically looking at the 2024 year. So this is representing the current, right, in regards to YouTube censorship, saying, well, don't worry, there's going to be some turnaround coming, right? There's going to be some justice coming. There's going to be, it may represent the idea of some lawsuits coming. It may represent the idea of fines that may be coming in that sense. Of course, these are multi-billion-dollar companies, so it can't be a little fine, right? A little slap on the wrist, because that's not really going to do anything. There may also be some counter policies coming together relating to what they are doing here with the big tech companies, right? With the socialist media, I should say. Right? So again, this is what has caused a lot of emotional upset for a lot of creators, a lot of people in that sense who have also been making a living off of, creating videos, creating content. But it feels like we're going to be seeing something unfold. We're going to be seeing a veil lifting here. So present time looks like things are going to be changing, right? I think that YouTube is not going to be able to do things like that anymore. I think it's going to still be a process before that happens. But they basically will say that if you're basically trying to take down, or just basically trying to further campaigns, further political campaigns, and I think that's really what it's going to aim for, is that they're basically going to be under the limelight relating to a lot of these political campaigns that they have been favoring, because they're no different than the mainstream media, really. It's looking in the idea that they've always been favoring Democratic parties, that they've all been favoring the idea of this status quo, of course, as we all know this. I'd say 99% of my subscribers already know this stuff, of course. But it looks like there's going to be judgment, right? The hammer is coming down. This is the near future. So it feels like 2024 is going to be a judgment time relating to YouTube, relating to Facebook, relating to Twitter, relating to the fast food of the internet. And that's basically what I could refer to them as, is they are the fast food content providers of the internet. They are basically socialist media. Certainly is not social media. It's all socialist media, right? And it looks like things are going to be looking good for the people, right? This is the good news. 2024 looks like a really interesting year, especially with the past couple of readings that I've done with it. It looks like it really is much more of a gracious year than what 2023 has been. 2023 has had increments of that. 2024 feels much more like a gracious year. It feels like we're going a lot more direct. It feels like there's going to be a lot more establishment of stabilization that's going to be coming together. And it looks like a lot of fingers are going to be pointed towards all of these, I guess you could say, just entities, right? These entities that have been the problem makers, the troublemakers, right, who have been used in these proxy ways to basically try and further political, financial campaigns and so forth, greedy campaigns. They are going to be basically put under the limelight. And a lot of stuff is going to be hammering down on them. So I don't even know if people would still come back to YouTube even if something did happen where the censorship's even lightened up a little bit more. I still don't think people are going to come back to it. I think they're going to start establishing something new. I think that Rumble may start getting a lot more of that attention. Maybe things like Odyssey may start getting more attention, more of the alternates, right? The alternatives will be getting a lot more of the attention relating to people producing content. Because the internet is not about, like I said, it's not about a totalitarianism. This is all about the idea where people can come on here and they can express themselves. They can share themselves. Of course, there is certain limits in regards to what can be shared, right, where there's excessive violence or anything of that nature. But the whole idea is that what they are doing is they're doing nothing more than just trying to silence people who are trying to share a lot more information that goes beyond the corrupt, hidden agendas that are found through these news organizations, through mainstream media, where we're basically being fed all the BS. And we're saying, hey, it doesn't matter how much you guys try to keep up this agenda. You cannot silence the wave that is the truth. You cannot silence the wave that represents the factual information about what is actually going on. And if they think they can do that, then they're kidding themselves, because other platforms will be created. The internet, again, is just like looking at this space. You have all these supplies and you can build these incredible platforms. And when more and more people are seeing that, like what we're seeing with the Rumble and all of that, right? We're seeing a lot of these people coming in and say, okay, fine, I'll build some of my architecture through this platform, and it's going to get attention as well too. And it has certainly been working. So I think even if YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of them, right, the fast food, big tech companies, even if they did lighten the censorship a lot more, no one's really going to want to come back to them and say, no, you guys have basically lost any particular form of trust, because we want to create a channel. We're putting a lot of time and effort and money into making these channels. And all you guys ever want to do is just shut things down. You want to just throw away content because you guys are in bed, right? You're basically whipped with the whole idea of MSM and greed and politics. And you just want to take all these things down when people are basically having their livelihood taken away. So yes, I do feel like it is going to be a hammering down situation pertaining to YouTube censorship, Facebook censorship, Twitter censorship, and so forth. It is certainly going to be out in the limelight in 2024, and I think really the hammer is going to be going down on them. Right? They're going to be hitting it hard out there. But even if that happens, like I said, I'm just here mainly for you guys. And if I didn't have this big channel, I wouldn't even be on YouTube at all. I'd start something on Rumble or start something elsewhere. But I have you guys here, and that's why I'm here all together. So that's what I can share pertaining to the entire censorship agenda. It feels like a lot of things are going to come into culmination in 2024. A lot of things are going to be brought into the limelight and dissected thoroughly, right? Like I said, it's kind of like an overhaul year, and we're moving very, very close to that. So we're less than a month away before we get into the new year. It's going to be very interesting to see what 2024 provides. We may start to see we're starting to see things that may hit the ground running. It's kind of like what I did the first quarter. We're going to see a lot of stuff hit the fan, so to speak. The stuff is going to hit the fan when we come into 2024. It's inevitable. A lot of changes need to take place so that we can start moving forward in the right direction, right? It's time to end corruption. It's time to end the greedy. It's time to end, everything representing censorship and violating people's lives like this. This needs to stop. This needs to end. And we together, all of us, have the power to make it happen. All right. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and look into the Israel situation. Okay. Now, basically, if you're looking at Russia and Ukraine, and if you're looking at Israel, it really is just the same thing, right? It's no more different than what they have been doing with Russia and the Ukraine. Israel is nothing more than a mafia job, right? Just like Russia and Ukraine was nothing more than a mafia job, where Russia really was hammering down on them. But again, they were trying to make it out to feel like they were the innocent ones, where basically it's a lot of the underground of the Ukraine that was basically being pulled out by its roots. Same thing is happening here. Israel itself is being pulled out. The roots are being pulled out from its underground. This underground is hideous and revolting. And it just goes back into the analogy when I was talking about these volunteers that are going into this nasty garden and just ripping out these disgusting, despicable roots and just chucking it on the surface and saying, here you go, guys. Oh my God, that's putrid, that's disgusting, that's revolting. Well, Israel is basically going through the same thing, right? They can talk all about the idea of the Palestinians and all that stuff and Palestinian hate groups and terrorist groups. And that's nothing about that. That's garbage. That, again, is the mafia being the mafia, pretending to be somebody else. Just like, again, the mafia will pretend to be somebody else and try to milk this whole campaign to try and get as much money embezzlement as possible. And then they'll try to get more money embezzlement through the whole situation of Israel as possible, so that they can try and run away with their hands, their tail between their legs, right? It's no different than like what they're trying to do here in Canada as well, too, that they're trying to quadruple the carbon tax as well, too. They're basically just trying to rob every Canadian dry, right? The idea of the housing costs here in Canada just by itself is insanity, right? You can't even really get like a 1 or 2 bedroom house without paying well over $1 million for it. So it's ridiculous, right? If they're trying to turn just like simple little homes into celebrity mansion style price tags, right? It's ridiculous. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at Israel, about the whole agenda that is behind there and where this is progressing as we move into 2024. And see what comes together. Then I'll be taking some questions from you guys as well, too, topics we can look into as well. Okay, so let's see here. So I asked the tarot, all right, what is the situation pertaining to the Israel conflict and where will it be headed as we move further into 2024? Yeah, Kevin, as I already mentioned earlier, I'm going to be talking to Janine, right? I'm going to be talking to Janine on January 4th. There's a question here. Please do another video with Tarot by Janine. Yeah, that's exactly what I mentioned, right? January 5th, she'll be on this channel, right? She'll be taking your guys' questions, right? Semi-personal and general questions altogether. So she will be here. Now, if you guys want to ask her questions, you will need to be on Zoom with me and with her, but it's just going to be simultaneously broadcast here on YouTube. So yes, a video is being done with Tarot by Janine. That is happening January 5th. Okay, write that down on your calendars, guys. Friday, January 5th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, Janine will be here with me on the YouTube channel, on Newer Teachings. Okay, we're going to be talking about a lot of things, but we're also going to be careful about mainly just providing a lot of this stuff in code. Okay, so I know. I know some of you guys may just be tuning in, so that's why I want to give you a second reminder. Okay, so tune in January 5th, and she will be here with me. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Israel here. Okay. Well, the interesting thing is that this feels like it's actually a very good thing that's happening. Because again, I said it's an uprooting. It's a rooting out of corruption, and that's basically what's happening with Israel. And they're basically using this campaign to hide a lot of things that's happening with Israel, because like what's happened with the Ukraine is also happening with Israel. It's being pulled out. Their entire proxy armies are being exposed. Their underground armies are being exposed. They've also already been infiltrated a lot by counterforce activity, right? So this is the whole idea pertaining to the current relating to Israel. It's basically turning into a point of a purging. There is a purging happening in Israel, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to cover the entire surface of that situation with bloodshed. They're trying to cover that entire situation with violence. They're trying to cover that entire situation with fear and propaganda. So they're trying to make like this icing, right, and trying to put it over everything. But again, a lot of the cartels, the criminal organizations within Israel are being uprooted, right? So this is the whole idea that there's a cycle coming to an end here relating to Israel. So there's a lot of these criminal terrorist organizations, the true criminal terrorist organizations. It's not the Palestinians, right? It is the criminal mafia, right? They are being uprooted. They are being taken down. They are basically being ripped out from the underground. And like I said, those giant roots are being thrown onto the surface for everybody to see, and they're trying to cover it with their own smear campaigns, right? So this is the past, right? It looks like Israel is going to be reborn. It is going to be overhauled. It is going through an overhaul as well, too, as it has had centuries upon centuries of corruption upon that entire country that is now coming into a state of culmination. And this is the whole situation. Like I said, the world card is the situation pertaining to the progression of this altercation with Israel altogether. So it is very much the idea that the entire criminal cartel is being taken out. And they're the ones that remain are basically trying to create this smear campaign and trying to wage war and trying to, again, embezzle as much funds. It all just pertains to greed. It all just pertains to political nonsense. It all just pertains to corruption. And that's what this is all about. They don't want to see themselves feeling like they're losing power, and so they will smear everything, right? They will basically do everything they can to cover it up and to feel like this is an actual war that's happening together. We're trying to create a third world war. It's not going to happen, right? This is all part of them losing the battle. And so they will smear it with violence. They will smear it and say, oh, there's been rapes that have been happening. There's been rape gangs that have been taking place. There's been people being shot. There's people that says all this stuff. And they just smear it with so much violence that you just don't even want to look at it. And they say, oh, we got them. We're smearing all this on the surface because we can't actually show people that our cartels are being defeated, that our proxy armies are being taken down, that our criminal organization cartel throughout Israel is being nullified, is being terminated. Right? We can't show that, so we're going to smear all this stuff where it just becomes unbearable and you guys can't stand to look at it, and hey, we got you. Okay, so again, this is nothing but an orchestration of the criminal cartels. This is nothing but an orchestration of those particular cabals, and they are falling, right? Let me go back to this present day card, okay? So this is very much a purging. It's a purging that's taking place, and this is something that has definitely been administered by the dark forces, you could say, right? By the criminal cartels. Again, I'm trying to speak in code, guys. I can't really go too far. But the cartels, the dark administration, you could say, has basically been everything, the game's up, right? Like the veil's being pulled off them, and there's a lot of transformation taking place in Israel. Is there violence happening? Of course there is, but they're basically going to make it a lot more worse than they think it actually is. So again, this is all part of just scummy people coming to the surface and performing these despicable deeds, trying to make it feel like Israel is basically turning into a war zone, when exactly what's happening is it's a purging that's taking place. Just like Russia purges the Ukraine, the internal counter forces of Israel are purging the slime, the scum, right? The cartels, the dark administrations from Israel. But it's going to be covered up and to feel like it's this smear blanket. They're just putting a smear blanket over it and thinking that this is some horrible war that's taking place between Israel and the Palestinians, and it's garbage. That is not what's happening, okay? So again, peace is going to be restored, even though it has been a very harsh conflict that is taking place with Israel. The people are going to, in time, have the power being taken back into their own hands. And a complete and total overhaul of the country of Israel is imminent, and it's going to be happening. And it's going to continue to progress. This is going to take a few months, right? But it's going to continue to progress in that way, just as the Ukraine and Russia whole thing took a variety of months. So is this. This is going to take several months before it basically comes into a state of culmination, but it is leading into the idea of an overhaul of that country altogether. Okay, so that is what I have to share in regards to Israel pertaining to that. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward with any questions that you guys have. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move into the chat. All right, if you guys do have any questions that you want to make priority, you can always leave a donation in the super chat. Otherwise, we will just be starting from the top of the list and moving our way down with any questions that you guys have. So again, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. Let's see what questions we have today. Okay, so like I said, it can be about current events, but if you guys want to talk about anything else outside of current events, that too is welcome. I'm also going to be here tomorrow, Friday, for New Earth TV Live, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific. We're going to be doing an Adronis transmission, then we'll be doing some Q&A, and then we'll be doing distance healing, but Q&A and distance healing will be mixed together, okay? So that will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, so be sure to tune into that as well. All right, let's go into the chat here. So this one is from Turn Up Everyday. Turn Up Everyday says, question to Brad and Adronis. A healer, friend of my parents, told me that fluoride is beneficial to the teeth. Health, even though it acts like a poison to the rest of the body. Is that true? No, I'm sorry to tell you it's not, right? And like I said, a lot of dentists, a lot of the common ignorant dentists in that sense will still try and get you to wash your mouth with fluoride. They'll basically still have this fluoride wash that they'll try and get you. I haven't been to the dentist in years, by the way. I just know how to take care of my own teeth. See, they're not too bad. But this is basically the whole idea of the dentist. It's ignorance that's come together. And I would really like to ask the dentist, okay, can you guys show me scientific data, reputable scientific data, that says that fluoride actually cleans your teeth? Where is the documentation? And you know what? Not a single dentist would ever be able to give you the documentation, because fluoride is a neurotoxin, okay? When you have calcification, for example, the pineal gland, the pituitary glands, of different endocrine glands, do you know what one of the culprits are for that? Is fluoride, okay? Fluoride is a poison. It is a neurotoxin, okay? So they will try and give you some convincing arguments, just like how we basically get all of our food supplies sprayed quite commonly with contaminants, like folic acid. Okay, folic acid is not a natural ingredient of the earth, it's man-made. Fluoride is a man-made neurotoxin. Okay, so again, that is what they try to tell people, right? Oh, just make sure you have, okay, here's your mouthwash, it's full of fluoride. Here's your toothpaste, it's full of fluoride. You're finishing at the dentist. Okay, let's get this cleaning, it's full of fluoride. They can't, they're ignorant, right? They're completely and totally ignorant. It has nothing to do with cleaning your teeth. It has everything to do with slowly poisoning your brain. It has everything to do with slowly poisoning your endocrine system. It has everything to do in that sense about completely weakening your immune system. It has everything to do in that sense in helping to increase cancer within your body. Okay? So if that's what they think is a benefit, then you need to really kind of look at them and say, okay, I really don't think they know what benefits actually mean. Okay? Fluoride is a neurotoxin. It is a poison. Okay? just like folic acid is a poison. Okay? So again, you have these certain things contained inside. I mean, again, you go to these fast food places, and if you're able to grab their ingredients list and you just see all these big words coming together, poison, poison, neurotoxin, artificial ingredients, blah, 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 give you cancer, give you this, we'll give you that, right? Give you heart stroke, give you heart disease, give you liver failure, etc. It's basically what all of these are doing. But they're doing it in very, very tiny doses so that you can't track it. They can't just pour it all in and basically have a person die the next day. They have to do it over a span of years so that you cannot trace back to their sources. Unfortunately, guys, like I said, there is not a proper human system on this planet that is doing anything right. It's all wrong. It's all poisoning. It's all artificiality. It's all corruption, right? So that includes the medical industry. And I'm not trying to bash the doctors in there, right? These are really good people. Most of them are very, very good people. And they think that they're doing things right. And I'm sorry to say, guys, but the system that you are part of, right, where you're basically following the status quo of being a medical practitioner is wrong, right? And what you are ignorantly not aware of is that you are slowly poisoning people. You're slowly poisoning them with pharmaceutical drugs. Dentists, you are slowly poisoning them with fluoride. Okay? So this, again, is a neurotoxin. This is exactly how they'll start to pour fluoride into water supplies. Again, they can't do it all at once because they can't have you drop dead the next day. This has to be done over a course of years. So very, very small amounts of poison. It's like you're getting these little drops of poison every single day until you get maybe about 1 liter or 2 liters full, and then you drop dead. And now they can't find a trace of it. Oh, it must have been something else in that scent that they took, right? That's how they try to keep their dirty hands clean. By poisoning you very, very slowly, by intoxicating you with this garbage and artificiality very slowly, and trying to make it through the idea of bribing certain forms of politicians and bribing certain forms of doctors and saying, oh yeah, okay, we'll make it sound like fluoride's an okay thing to take, when in fact it's a neurotoxin, right? You show me any particular reputable degree of scientific data that says that fluoride is beneficial for cleaning your teeth, and I'll completely turn my story around. But it's not. It's a neurotoxin because no such reputable document exists. So my friend, it's poison, okay? Please be aware of that. And I'm hoping you guys are brushing with fluoride-free toothpaste and so forth, right? Do not put fluoride in your body. That is a neurotoxin, okay? That's fact. And I'm not basically putting that together through belief. You can even run energy readings, because I work together with subtle energy all the time. And if I basically had something in regards to a sampling of fluoride here, I could look at that and say, no, that's poison. That's no more different than just putting something horrendously poisonous in your body, right? Run 1 drop at a time. And eventually, you're going to drop dead because you do not know about this. You're thinking that, again, this medical establishment is trying to be on your side. They are not. They're not on your side, right? This is why a lot of people are going into the alternative health practices, because they actually care about you and they actually want to help heal you from these things. Whereas when you look at the traditional status quo, as long as you're a customer, they're just going to basically secretly poison you. It's kind of like how Ramana Maharshi once said that it's like the thief pretending to be the policeman. He will come with you and pretend to feel like you're making headway in trying to catch the thief, but nothing will be gained. Okay? This is the nature of the foundations of the artificial human systems and how they exist today. They will come with you and pretend that you're feeling well, but they're actually just continuing to slowly poisoning you until you drop dead. But they're going to try and milk as much money off you as possible before that happens. Okay? And I'm just telling you the truth, guys. That's how it is. The very people that are creating the illness are trying to sell you the cure. But they're not curing you. They're just continuing to pump all this garbage into you so that you feel worse every day, that you lose all your energy, that you're not feeling well whatsoever, right? There are some, like I said, it's not really against the doctors themselves. There are some very good people in this industry. But again, they are being part of an industry that is corrupt to the bone. They create these illnesses and then they try to sell you treatment. I wouldn't even say selling you a cure, because there is no cure with these things, with these people, with this industry. There's treatments, okay? Those treatments are poison. and they're basically going to try and poison you more than an illness will. So this is why I say you need to be very, very mindful of that. You need to be aware of that. And like I said, I'm sure the majority of my subscribers are already aware of this, okay? But it's just continuing to educate people. And unfortunately, you're going to meet ignorant people who think that fluoride is a healthy benefit for you, that it's going to clean your teeth. Really? Okay. You take a big, gigantic jug of fluoride and you swish it in your mouth every single day, and you show me how white your teeth get. No one's going to do it, right? If I go up to a politician and say, okay, here's a big bottle of fluoride, sir. I know you're the head of the dental administration. Can you just go ahead and swish that all around your mouth right now and just give us an impression about how your teeth are going to feel afterwards? So I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Well, there you go, right? Bunch of bullshit. So there you go. And I would love to see anybody do that. Okay, here you go. Big bottle of fluoride right here. Sir, here you go. You're the head of the dental administration. Go ahead. Go ahead and swish your mouth with fluoride right now. And they'll look at you like you have 5 heads. Okay? So I say it's garbage, right? So yes, we need to be very mindful of such things. Okay. So this is from Jean. Jean says, I've been hearing from many intuitives that December is the month. New financial system, introductions to our extraterrestrial brothers, and the switch is flipped, and everything is in the new system. No. Now, it's not to say it's not a build-up towards that time, and I know, and Jean, I know you hear a lot of this from people, and I hear it too as well. And bless them, right? I know that they want to see a lot of these things come, and I bless them for wanting to see these things come, and that's very, very commendable. But no, this is something that is not going to happen in an entire month, right? I've already done readings of this. If you guys haven't watched those episodes, it goes back a couple of weeks. I would suggest watching those episodes, where I talked about 2024. So I've done a couple of videos on 2024 as well. Adronis has talked about the nature of what's termed as a inverted winter solstice in 2024, which represents the idea of an unfoldment happening. Now, the year of 2024, from what I've detected, is going to be a very eventful year, right? It is going to be a big turnaround, but there's still going to be ups and downs with it, right? There's a lot of graciousness that's going to come through that year, but there's still going to be ups and downs. There's still going to be challenges. You're going to have hills and you're going to have valleys, right? And I know a lot of people want to basically say, come on, guys, this month, before we hit the solstice, let's get extraterrestrial disclosure up. We pretty much already had that. We've already had ET disclosure, right? People are already aware that ETs exist, right? We pretty much have had that already. But I think what they're trying to say is, oh, first contact. I'm like, no. No, you got to wait a couple of decades for that, at least, okay? The idea of a new financial system, well, that's already out right now. It just has not reached the mainstream yet because, again, other things need to shift before that can come together. I'm not sure if that's anything else. Yeah, new financial system, introduction to extraterrestrial brothers and sisters. So other words, first contact, right? You're looking at something pertaining to the ET disclosure or the ET first contact that is going to take decades, right? You're looking at the financial system where there's going to be some more peaks of it happening, but it needs to come out slowly, right? Other things need to happen, right? It's as I've been talking about with these ATM situations where something is going to take place that is going to trigger people to run to ATMs and try to withdraw as much money as possible. That event has yet to happen, okay? So there's a possibility that can happen. Like I said, I've only given it certain percentages, but none of these is basically written out in stone here, right? This is not carved out in concrete. These are possibilities. And I know a lot of people would love to see it happen in December. I would love to see all that happen in December. Don't get me wrong, guys, but it's not up to us. And that's something we have to realize, right? As much as we would love to see a lot of these wonderful things happen, to have connections with our star family, that would be wonderful, right? It's just not the time yet, right? To have a new financial system where there's no more debt, that would be wonderful. It's just not the time yet. I know we want that time to happen, but this is up to the collective. This is up to the flow of nature. This is not up to an individual. So I know there's a few people that are feeling it, and I would say, well, I'd like you guys to go a little bit more deeper into what you're feeling, because I think you're just getting a little bit too aroused by the excitement that you think this is going to happen right away. It's coming, and it's coming in chunks, and it's coming in sequences, but it's not going to come all at once. And that's basically what I would say to them. Because Gina, I know you're just being the messenger for this, and that's great. But I would basically say to those people, That's great that you guys are feeling that, because I do feel that too. But we have to see this happen in sequence. We have to see this in chunks. And as we see it in chunks, you're going to see that it will get closer and closer. But I have to disagree. It will not be happening December this month, okay? Pertaining to first contact, decades. Okay, pertaining to the financial system, it may have peaks coming together here in the start of 2024, moving throughout 2024, but also into 2025, I think, as well, too. Okay, and this is just my own perspective. I'm not basically saying this is the gossip and that this is the gospel, I should say. This is not the head gossip or the top of the gospel of what I'm sharing, but these are just perspectives, right? It's like when I was talking about this in early 2023, about what late 2023 is, because I'm talking about there's going to be a lot more scandals that are going to be coming about, but you guys won't have to worry about any more quarantine and shutdowns. And I had quite a few psychics who I was witnessing, astrologists as well too, saying, oh, well, they're going to introduce a new virus around September, and then the whole world is going to be shut down into another lockdown again. And I kept telling them, no, you're not. No, it's not. It's not going to happen at all. What happened, guys? I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I was correct. Okay? That's not what's happening. You have to learn to listen to the earth, because I'm not making this stuff up. When I go and I tune in, I listen to the heart of the earth, right? I listen to her conscience. And that's really what you have to do. And again, astrologers and psychics and intuitives and channels were basically predicting a lot of doom and gloom when we got into the fall time of 2023, believing that we are going to get into another horrible virus, and that there's going to be another major worldwide lockdown again. A lot of people were saying that. I was one of the few people that was actually saying, no, that's not going to happen, right? And it has not happened. So they still have been carrying out COVID procedures here and there in certain places, but it has not led to the idea of a brand new virus coming together in that way. It's not to say that they haven't planned that. They certainly were planning to launch something new, but they can't right now. They're so limited. They're so tied down to what they're actually capable of. They can only really just show smear campaigns. They don't have the power anymore to lock down the planet. It's not possible. They had that one shot and that was it. They now have completely lost that capability to do it again. And so this is what we're seeing. Here we are in December 2023. There is no new virus that has caused another worldwide lockdown, exactly as I said would happen. Okay? Not trying to toot my own horn, but this is just something that you see when you start talking to the earth herself and you listen to her conscience. And now you're just being a messenger for that conscience. Okay? Thank you, Jane, for your sharing there. Okay, let's go down to Charmaine. Charmaine has a question here. Will humanity have something really great to celebrate this month? You don't really need something external to celebrate, right? I would say if you guys are very much loving the nature of the solstice, of the winter solstice, you should take that time, because that is a powerful veil. That is a veil that obscures the connection between the physical and the spirit world, right? That's a wonderful thing to celebrate, because again, we're getting closer to these large phase shifts, right? And between this winter solstice and the next, we're going to see some really powerful events take place, right? It just depends in regards to what a person goes through, to how they see it and how they perceive it. Maybe they see it as something grand. Maybe they see it as something horrifying. It just depends on the person in question. But I would say celebrate where you are right now. Celebrate this time to realize this is where humanity is waking up. Because, guys, once we wake up, you're not going to fall back asleep again. That's the good news. When you basically see all this stuff that's been happening and you see it beyond what the status quo is trying to show you, you cannot unsee that, right? You cannot unperceive that. You cannot unchange what you are seeing. And that is going to lead you into such an incredible ascent, right? And that's what you should celebrate. That's what I suggest celebrating. Celebrate this time. Celebrate this moment. Celebrate where you are. Celebrate along with others who you are seeing awaken, right? But there is no such thing, but why don't we call something a worldwide awakening day, right? And maybe make that worldwide awakening day every single day. Celebrate where you're seeing people who are seeing the truth, right? Who are opening their eyes and they're revealing, they're now starting to see things that they could not see before. Celebrate that, right? Celebrate this upcoming solstice, because this is going to be a very powerful one, where there's that blur in between the physical and the spiritual, where you can just feel that connection, that beautiful shift. You can again ride that wave to a higher ascent of yourself, right? But most importantly, celebrate yourself where you're at. Look at exactly how far you've come and to where you are right now. Do not concern yourself about what you are in the past, what you have, what you feel that you might be in the future. Be who you are right now. That's what you need to celebrate. Worldwide Awakening Day every day. Okay? Thank you for your question. Seth says, yeah, I left Facebook in January after I got suspended for posting a loving, freedom advocating image. Haven't looked back and proud of it. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I don't really hang around Facebook that much anymore. There's nothing there. It's the same old crap all the time, right? It's just same old stuff and same old garbage, same old ridiculous censorship. I haven't missed it at all, right? I'm actually just hanging around a lot more with Telegram, right? Telegram has become much more of my source, and I'm enjoying it. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay, well, this is just a comment here from Seth, so I'm just going to share my 2 cents with it. Good is happening and the light is winning. I focus on the good in my own life and the awakening I see in my own life and community. Very simply, the shift is going slower than we might like because so many are still asleep and clinging to. In a way, it is, and for some it may also be coming very, very quickly. This is why, again, people feel like they're overwhelmed. When you've been asleep for so long and you finally have woken up, you're actually going to notice that everything is happening to you at once. This is really what happened to me when I awoke back in 2008. I was feeling, oh my goodness, I'm like awakening to this whole new world. I'm awakening to the spiritual world, and it feels like everything's just happening at once. It was Daryl Anka who basically just gave the impression, like when he was channeling Bashar, it just feels like it's trying to fit Hoover Dam through a garden hose, like everything is just trying to come through you at once. And that's exactly how I felt when I was first starting to channel Adronis. That's when I started to feel when I just started to awaken myself spiritually. I felt like everything in the world was trying to come through me at once. So everybody will have their own perspective about how things are progressing through themselves. In regards to, is the shift going too slow? Is it going too fast? It's neither. It's going at the own appropriate speed that is congruent with how the earth herself is moving forward, right? It's at the right speed. It's at the right pace. Some of us may see it's too fast or too slow, but nonetheless, it's going at the pace that is congruent with where the earth is headed. So there you go. Let's go down the list a bit more. Reba asks, do you think some people will never awaken? It seems a lot like no matter what truth comes out, many just don't care. As long as they can carry on in their own bubble, they don't seem to be bothered. It's true. I've met people like that. But the most important thing is that don't feel responsible for those people. Okay? You're going to have people who are basically going to mimic the ostrich. Okay? They're going to dig a little hole, and they're going to put their head in it, and they're going to cover their entire head with dirt. Okay? I've seen people like that. And the most important thing is that you're not feeling responsible for that person. You're not feeling responsible for that group of people, right? Don't feel responsible. Just be very, very soft in your approach. I know there's many of you who will go out into the world and share a lot of this information, and you will have people who will just get up and be so pissed off at what you're saying that they'll just want to storm out of the room and not want to hear another word out of your mouth. Don't take it personally, okay? You have to understand here, this is like a dream world. This is looking at your subconscious. When you look at every other person around you, that's your subconscious. You're going to have people that are delightful. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for sharing this. So that's wonderful. And you're going to have people just slamming down their drink and say, I don't want to hear any more of this crap. I'm getting out of here. Okay? You're going to get that flurry. You're going to get that contrast pertaining to people, right? Like I said, I've been doing this well over 15 years. I've talked to tens of thousands, 20,000, 30,000 clients I have under my belt, really for these past 15 years of people I've talked to. And I've seen people from all walks of life. The good news, I can say the majority of people are very receptive to this information that I've been sharing. And there have been some who I've met who don't want to hear it, who don't want to hear it at all, who are in such denial, who are basically just want to close themselves off. They want to be the human ostrich, and they want to stick their head in the dirt, and they want to put the dirt over themselves, and they don't want to hear a damn thing because they're afraid of losing their world. They're afraid of losing their past. They feel like, again, they're living in the past and they don't want to lose it. Instead, rather than reacting to that person, have compassion for them. Okay? And this is what I have learned. You're going to meet people who are absolutely appalled by everything you say that is contrary to the status quo. Don't get angry at that person. Give them love. Go into a blissful state within yourself and share that blissful state with them. All the bliss that I'm feeling right now, let it be for that person too. Okay? And that's the greatest reward that you can share. That's how you can help other people, is by you going into the bliss state, is by you going into peace, is that you yourself are feeling the tranquility of your own being. And you're sharing that with other people, right? Because all you're doing is you're realizing that person is me. That person who's doubting, that person who's skeptical, that person who's ignorant and afraid, that's me, right? There is a facet of myself that is like that, and that person is representing that. Rather than getting irritated by that person and say, oh, why can't they wake up? Why can't they do this in that sense? And you're only adding to the problem. You're pouring fuel on the fire. Rather, go into your state of peace. Go into your own bliss. Go into your own happiness. And as you feel it within yourself, extend an olive branch and share it with them. All this love and bliss and happiness that I'm feeling, let it be passed on to them too. Let them feel it. And believe me, they will feel it. And that's how you can help. That's how you can make a difference. This is why I say the very first step, guys, is not going outside and feeling like you need to change the world. Okay? That's not your job. It's not your responsibility. Rather, you're looking to acclimatize to your own peace, acclimatize to your own bliss, happiness, and joy. And when you're there, you can share that with the entire planet. You can shoot out all of these cords to every single person you know, to every single person you don't know, to the animals, to nature, and you can share this bliss. And you can share this happiness. And that is the power. That's the true power. It's exactly what we hear in a lot pertaining to our ancient teachers, to what the Buddha did, to what Jesus did, to what Krishna did, to what all of these great masters have done, is they've shared their compassion, they've shared their love with the entire planet. And that is what makes change, right? You have to be the example of yourself and share that light and let the world decide for itself how it proceeds when it samples your light. That's the most beautiful thing you can do. So please keep that in mind. All right. Thank you, Reba, for your question. Okay. Let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay, this one here is from Alina. Alina says, would 2024 bring more hardship for people regarding financial situations? Is there a possibility of some assistance for older people? It is going to bring hardship, yes. And I've even looked into this as well, too, in the past, relating to financial struggle, right? There's going to be ups and downs for people. Like I said, guys, I wish there was one universal treasure chest that we could all open and we could all share and benefit from. Unfortunately, even when there's these changes that are taking place, which in the long run is going to be very, very beneficial, people are going to still struggle. People are still going to feel hurt. I mean, like I said, it's like the whole Canadian situation here, where they have basically been printing so much money that it has caused hyperinflation throughout Canada. And now housing markets are just soaring up through the roof. And as long as those particular forms of authorities are still running things, you're going to have some speed bumps. You're going to have some very big, heavy speed bumps. And I'd love to say, oh, no, don't worry, guys, it's going to go all away. No, it's going to take time. It's going to transition, okay? And like I said, the way that you want to see quick change is working together. It's exactly what I just shared previously. You have to go into your own state of joy, because money is not going to bring you happiness, guys, right? And I know this for a fact, right? I'm doing pretty well financially, but that's not bringing happiness to me at all. Right? So many people think that if I have $100,000 in the bank account, well, everything's going to be fine. If I have $250,000, if I have $1 million in the bank account, everything's going to be fine. No, it's not. Right? That's not what brings you happiness. That is not what brings you joy, because I've dabbled in those things as well too, making six figures, right? Did not add to any aspect of happiness for myself at all. So for someone who's been there, that doesn't bring you happiness. Okay? You rubbing your money over yourself and looking at your bank account, you got all these zeros ahead of yourself, thinking that that's going to bring you happiness, you're wrong. It's not going to. Right? Your true happiness is the love that you feel throughout the world. It is the love that you feel through life. It is the love that you feel through the people and through all living beings that are working together with you, that share with you, right? It is the love to know that you are the infinite, right? That's the primary thing here. That is what is going to bring you happiness, and that is what you need to reflect on. I give you a lot of these particular practices to giving you guys shortcuts, right? If you guys are taking them, you know that they certainly generate a shortcut with you, whether it's mantras, whether it's practices that I'm doing here with you, whether it's working together with etherics, right? All of those things are shortcuts, and they help you in a very beautiful way. But most importantly, it's to look in here. It's to do this. It's to feel inside your heart and to know that you are the divine. It doesn't even matter if I'm broke. I'm happy. I've been at the point where I couldn't even pay the rent. I've been at the point where I've been thrown out of homes. And I've been at the point where I basically almost had to live on the street. But I actually wasn't upset about it, right? I was at the point where I was barely bringing any particular forms of financial benefit into my home whatsoever. But I wasn't upset about it, okay? Because like I said, when you basically come into the heart, doesn't matter. Look at all these great masters. Did Jesus own a gigantic mansion, right? Did he go in these gigantic palaces and just start drinking out of golden chalices, right? Buddha started off that way, right? Looking to be a king, but he turned that away and he wanted to move into the true nature of life and move much more into his true nature as the Buddha. And he was wandering from place to place, right? From town to town, just sharing his own love and happiness and joy with people. And he didn't have a penny to his name. And I'm noticing that those are actually the happiest people on the planet that you will find. You will find the most miserable people who have tons and tons of money in their bank account. The most miserable people on this planet, quite frankly, are billionaires. Billionaires are basically the most completely and totally miserable people that you will meet, the majority of them, right? The majority of the homeless who basically feel like they have no boundaries, they have no particular forms of rules and regulations that are governing them. There's a freedom in them, right? So this again is the whole idea. We all think that money is going to make the world go around and money is going to bring us happiness and it's going to get rid of my misery. No, it's not. It never did that for me. So if that ever happened to you, will you let me know? If I'm talking to any millionaires on this broadcast and I say, okay, well, your money was able to get rid of all of your misery. Can you teach me how this was done? Because I've never found a way from it. And like I said, I've been playing with the six figures, and that certainly has never brought me any happiness. So again, guys, this is where I hear from so many people is, oh, can we get some money? Can we get some financial abundance? It's not going to do anything. Okay, you'll be able to pay your bills. Okay, you'll be able to pay your rent. You'll be able to take care of your house. You'll be able to get a car. You'll be able to get a few knickknacks here and there. Is that going to make you happy? No, not one bit. Your true happiness has to come from in here. And that's what I'm reminding of you guys. This is exactly what every single saint throughout history has told us. Because some of these saints basically had the opportunity to have riches coming out of their ears and could sustain themselves there. But they realized that as a hollow, empty path, right? And if you want to bring financial abundance into yourself, then that's fine. But go here first. Let your wealth cascade here first, and then bring it outwards if you want to, right? But if you feel like you have to get it out here to try and fulfill this, absolutely impossible. Take it from me. That is completely impossible. I could give you all the money in the world, and you would be miserable, right? The wealth has to come from in here. This is the kingdom of heaven. This is the kingdom of God. This is where the wealth needs to propagate. This is where the wealth itself needs to be satiated. And then outwards, if you decide to have that, let it be so. Because when a person knows God, they can be anyone and anything they wish. Person who knows God, they can be the richest person in the world if they wanted to. But that wealth is not their happiness. Their knowing that they are God is happiness. The knowing that they are joy, that they are bliss, that everyone and everything is one with them. That's the happiness, right? Really take into what I'm sharing with you here, because what I'm sharing with you here is no different than what the great saints have been trying to tell everybody for many thousands of years, right? Really look into that idea. Okay, let's go down the list a bit more here. Oops, lost my spot here. Let's see if I can go down here more. Okay, so here's one from Joe. Joe says, "Hi Brad, is it still a good idea to cleanse crystals in the moonlight during this upcoming solstice if the things being said about our moon are true, or better to use the healing decks?" Well, I guess the only way to really prove that to yourself is if you're really good with dowsing. Okay, and I'm talking about resonance dowsing, the type of dowsing that I've created, right? It's a modification of different types of dowsing techniques that I've learned over the years. So what I have here, guys, is I have what's known as a universal pendulum. Okay, this is actually what I teach my students in the Etherics Academy. And by the way, you guys will be able to go through the course as we get in between March and April of 2024, okay? Because it will be just an on-demand online course that you'll be able to access, and I'll be doing live sessions every month for the Etherics Academy when we get into the 2024 year. But I'm basically just starting to finish everything, getting close to the time of finishing. There's still another 3 months. We're in Module 4, Module 5, Module 6. So there's another 3 months to go. But around March and April, I'm going to be launching it as a standalone, on-demand online course. And I'll be holding monthly live sessions for people who are taking it. Okay? And you will learn about resonant dowsing. Okay? But this is what's known as a universal pyramid, to be more precise, or universal pendulum. To be more precise, what's known as a BG16 pendulum. It was created by Dr. Ibrahim Karim, who is the founder of biogeometry. You guys can actually get this through the biogeometry website. You can also find others who are creating a similar pendulum online as well too. It has 16 discs. Okay, so you're basically looking at what's referred to as a BG16, or you could also refer to it as a universal pendulum. Okay, there's a couple other ones too as well that you can get. So what you would do is whenever there's a full moon, it's a clear night, and you're grabbing a hold of a crystal and you're putting it maybe on a shelf, maybe you're putting it outside on a cloth or anything of that nature, and you're letting the moon come in, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give an example here. I'm going to go in through my own vibration because I have charged crystals in the moonlight before, and that memory actually serves as being able to work together with a viable way of testing the moonlight energy that is imbued in a crystal, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm just going back into my memory when I was able to charge a large stone on the windowsill during a full moon. And with the full moon pouring into that crystal, because I'm in the alignment of vibration right now, I'm just going to take a look and see exactly how that reacts. And look at that. This is moving in a clockwise direction, which means that it is being rich in source center vibration, otherwise known as BG3. Okay? So, moonlight is very, very good for crystals. Okay? It's not the moonlight that's the problem. It's the nature of the frequencies that are basically functioning as a carrier through the moonlight that have been basically broadcasting scalar frequencies that represent suggestions. Okay? But through the moonlight itself, it's harmless. But again, it's utilizing that as a carrier signal. And through the vibrational spectrum, we often refer to that as the negative green vibration. And the negative green vibration is just basically piggybacking off the moonlight, which is harmless. Okay? And that's actually what's being used to create these frequency bombardments on the planet, representing psychic suggestion. So the moonlight by itself is not a bad thing, right? But it's a lot of the technology that has been placed on the moon that is basically riding piggyback on the moonlight through working together with negative green vibrational bands to create these particular signals that would represent certain forms of psychic suggestions. Okay? So it's kind of like you're riding an innocent horse, right? When someone goes into battle, it's not the horse that's killing people. It's the person that's riding the horse that's basically trying to kill people. Okay? The horse itself is innocent. So that's basically what we're looking at. When we're looking at the pure moonlight vibration, it is actually very pure, because moonlight is just the sun. Okay? The moon does not have its own light. Okay? So what's happening is the moonlight, in that sense, is what's being reflected through its own atmosphere, right? Because again, the sun is the catalyst with it. So again, that moonlight, hence really the sunlight that is simply shining upon the moon. Like I said, the sun doesn't even have its own light as well, too. It's the atmosphere that generates the light, right? The moon has an atmosphere. If the moon did not have an atmosphere, you would not see a bright moon in the sky, right? If it did not have an atmosphere, it wouldn't be shining in the way that it does. So it does have an atmosphere, okay? So it's sunlight, really. It's just working with the sunlight through the moon that we term as moonlight that is coming upon the planet. That is harmless, okay? But it's the carriers that ride with the moonlight that are basically causing those particular forms of disruptions. As Adronis was saying just last week, he was talking about the idea that some of the technology on the moon is already starting to be deactivated, okay? And he's basically adjusted his manifestation time pertaining to when the moon will be completely deactivated, probably around the time of 2025, okay? But it is going to continue to progress where there is partial or even greater deactivation that's taking place. But it's technologies on the moon that are basically utilizing the moonlight as a carrier, riding the carrier, to basically working together with those codes. But those codes are not going to enter your crystals, okay? That's the pure moonlight that's coming together. So that's what I've discovered. And again, if you guys are good with dowsing, you can also douse your own moon crystals and see what you get as well, too. You may also want to work with the idea of a neutral pendulum, okay? This, again, is something I teach my Etherics Academy students, because I'm going to do a basic introduction to resonant dowsing here for free on the YouTube channel as we get closer and a little bit more further into December, okay? So I'll be giving you guys a basic crash course of working together with resonant dowsing. Okay? But basically, one idea is just working together with your own neutral pendulum and being able to detect your own wavelength, and now being able to conduct these particular experiments. So if I have something shining in the moonlight, I'll have that big crystal right here. I'll put my hand over it, and I'll see exactly what reaction I get pertaining to having my own wavelength working with the wavelength of that charged crystal in the moonlight, and see how it does for me. That's something else that you can practice. So these will be things that I'll be teaching you guys through a free course that'll be on this YouTube channel about resonant dowsing. Okay, so it's basically just resonant dowsing 101. I'm going to teach you guys the basics, as my students are now going to start learning the advanced aspects of resonant dowsing here this month. Okay, and you guys will have a chance to do that that too as we get into March and April, because that will be a standalone online course that you'll be able to take. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. How are we on time here? We got about 20 minutes. Okay. All right. Liliana says, question, hi Brad, can you give some insight about Marfa lights located in West Texas? Apparently these are mysterious glowing lights and wonder about them. Okay, how about we work with the tarot for that? Marfa lights, okay, so M-A-R-F-A, lights located in West Texas. These are mysterious glowing lights and I wonder about them. Okay, so let's take a look and seeing that what is the nature of the Marfa lights that are located in West Texas? What do they signify? Okay, so the Marfa lights, what do they signify? Interesting. Okay. So the feeling here is this is what really came out representing the nature of the Marfa lights as well too. This is something very, very good. This may be some type of powerful energetic that may be working with the land, that may be working with fertility. There's a great deal of strength and it holds a very strong feminine quality in that sense. This may be something that is otherworldly. This may be something off-world. It feels like it may be working together with repair, but I feel like it's also doing certain forms of repair far beyond the physical. It may be extra dimensional in that nature. It may be helping in that sense pertaining to the whole situation of this world. It may be helping to bring some type of union together in regards to people that are suffering and the whole situation of the worlds. So it does play a part with a lot of the affairs that are happening on the planet right now. And then we have the Knight of Cups. This is almost kind of like the savior figure coming in, right, representing the great romance in that way, or great love compassionate love. So I feel that this may represent some type of off-world connection there for you, Liliana, regarding this question. Okay, so it is something very good. It's helping to bring light to darkness. I'd say that's the best thing I can do. It feels like it's a helper. It feels like it's something that is radiating pure light into the earth or around the earth or even through the collective consciousness. It's like a healing agent or a healing entity in the best way I can put it. But it does feel like it may have off-world connections. Okay, very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. All right, let's go ahead and move on. It's 11:11 right now. Yeah, beautiful synchronicity right now happening. 11:11 my time. All right. Okay, let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay, sorry, we have a donation here that I didn't see just until now. This is from EUM142. EUM142 has said, "Hi Brad, has the COVID agenda awoken enough people to the point that we won't have any more worldwide agendas just as intense as COVID?" Well, this is basically what I've been saying, is that what I was saying earlier is that people were predicting that another virus and that another worldwide lockdown would be happening around the fall time of this year. And I kept saying, no, it's not. Because that COVID agenda has awoken enough people on the planet so that something like that can never happen again. So to answer your question, EUM142, yes. It has basically awoken enough people. It has basically awoken a surge of something greater that will prevent anything like that from happening again. Okay? Because we basically bared that down for well over 2 years at least. Right? And that was something that, again, is just a one-shot thing, right? Once that's used, you cannot use it again. And I know a lot of people were fearing, thinking that there'll be another virus and that they'll try to do it again. You can't, right? Lightning will not strike the same place twice, as far as natural phenomena is concerned. And this will not strike twice, right? It's a one-shot deal. They had one chance to basically play out their agenda. Everybody woke up to it. I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people woke up to it, and it created such a critical mass. It created such a collective awakening that it would not lead to anything else like that happening again. I can pretty much guarantee that for you guys. I can pretty much guarantee that you will not have another worldwide shutdown surrounding a virus ever again, for as long as this modern era continues. All right? So that's my own personal guarantee of that. And I knew this from the start. I said, okay, well, they're going to ride this wave as long as they can because there's no way they're going to be able to do a second one. Okay? And a lot of people were afraid, feeling that it was going to do another virus thing, there's going to be another scandal, there's going to be another thing. No, guys, it's already served its purpose. Mankind is not responsible for the development of the collective consciousness and the way of things. Right? Spirit is. And that was a one-shot deal to do everything that needed to be done to awaken as many people as it needed to move forward past such agendas, because they can't do it again. They were definitely trying to do it again. Look at the monkeypox situation. Look at the different variances with Omicron and all that stuff. They were trying to prolong it, and it just kept failing, just kept falling down. It's like, nope, cosmic denial, denied, 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 denied. It's exactly what I was saying. Okay? Like I said, guys, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. But like I said, when you start talking to the conscience of the earth, when you start talking to her heart, she tells you these things. And that's what I'm in tune with, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people are not in tune with that yet. Because if they are, they'll be getting the same messages as I am. And there have been a few who have. But again, it's not many. There's a few in that sense who can really tune into the heart of the earth and can tell you something very, very deep. And I would listen to that person and say, listen to that person. That person knows what they're talking about. And I hear other people in that sense, oh, no, it's going to lead to another lockdown. This, okay. Blessings to that person, but unfortunately, that information is not correct. Okay. So, no, we are not going to have another lockdown. We are not going to have another virus outbreak that's leading to that. Okay, and even on a natural level, that still wouldn't happen. If anything like that authentically happened, it would never lead to a worldwide outbreak. Why? Because we have enough technology, we have enough know-how nowadays to basically go into that area, quarantine everything off within that small area, and neutralize it. Very easy, right? It's exactly why all that stuff was BS. It's just unless we were still living in the Stone Age, okay, then maybe a virus like that could reap some damage. But that wouldn't happen. right? If there's anything of that nature, the technology of today would quarantine that area off, neutralize it, and basically confine it, and it's secured, and you wouldn't have any problems, right? This is why we know it's all garbage. And again, it woke up enough people to move us forward into something even better. And that's where we're moving right now. We're surfing that wave right now as we speak. Okay? Okay, let's go down a little bit more. How are we on time? We got about 15 minutes. Okay, so we'll probably take about 2 or 3 more questions, give or take. All right, let's just go down. Okay. Brandy says, question, is there a current increase in moon interference, making it harder to stay positive? Well, like I said, there have been certain forms of psychic technologies. Like I said, they will work with scalar technology, scalar weaponry. And that's basically been the whole plan, right? This is exactly why you're seeing, when there's a clear day, you're seeing all these chemtrails going overhead. You're seeing everything that's basically trying to keep this entire planet that is naturally happy and high in vibration, low and base. Okay, so that's exactly their entire plan. But basically what's happening is people are developing a natural immunity against this. This is exactly why they've tried to do everything they can to crank everything to the maximum. And even for some people, won't do anything for them. And they're basically, we don't know what to do, right? They're not even responding to psychic influence. People are still waking up. They're still talking about love and happiness and wishing love to the entire planet, wanting peace. Why are they doing this? They should be so depressed that they don't want peace and they just want blood. And they can't do it, right? Because the energies of the planet are basically, like I said, when we have our own solar energy coming in here, when we have the energies of the earth, it is awakening transformation within ourselves. So that even though we're facing a lot of this turmoil and turbulence relating to psychic weaponry, relating to pollution technology, and all of this stuff still doesn't work, right? Humanity's heart is just getting too strong. It's getting too bright, right? It's like with the idea of the internet. They thought they could use that to weaponize that. But rather, in that sense, the internet, in majority sense, is being used to connect people a lot more than ever before. And that's bringing about a heartfulness, right? The heart of humanity is shining so brightly, and they are doing everything they can to put all these screens and chemicals and vibrational, psychic weaponry and all that stuff to try and confine it, but nope, it breaks, because that's the power of spirit. And you cannot confine spirit. You cannot hide spirit, right? You cannot try to hide it behind walls. It will shatter those walls. And that's what's happened. I can say the majority of people, even on this chat right now, are heart-centered, right? You guys want peace. You want love. You want joy. You want happiness. You want the world to awaken in this incredible boom of powerful, loving consciousness, right? It's what the majority of the world wants. And this is what they've been trying to prevent. They've been trying to prevent the world, the entire world, from getting to that point. We will try to make human beings so miserable that they will forget what love is. And I can tell you, that's very much what they have said throughout many of their interactions with each other. Let's make the human race so absolutely miserable that love is the last thing that they want. So guys, can you tell me, has that worked? With what they have planned to do, relating to saying that we will make humanity so miserable that love is the last thing that they want. Have they succeeded? Has that worked? You guys tell me. Right? What does anybody say about that? Because that's been their agenda. That's been everything. Regarding to the poisoning that they're doing, the corrupt agendas that they're having, the greed that they have, everything relating to weaponry that they have had, right? It has worked the opposite. Yep, EIPITR, you have got it right away. Yep, exactly. It has generated the opposite effect. What they have tried to do to try to make people miserable is actually cause people to love even deeper. And that is where we're on a roll. We're really on a roll here. Because even though, like it's as I've always said, through tragedy comes unity. And through unity is that prosperity, is that brotherly, sisterly love that we have for everyone and every living being on this planet, and for the Mother Earth herself. So what they have basically done is they have basically created, and actually I would say not really created, but they've boosted what they have feared, right? By trying to suppress humanity, they have made humanity much more loving, much more compassionate, much more happy, much more joyful, because their heart is their own savior. This heart that's beating inside you is your savior. That's what they've been trying to put walls and prison bars all around, and it just breaks, right? Because you see how other people are getting hurt on the planet, and what does that do? That makes your heart just want to help them. That makes your heart want to shine a lot more. You see all the tragedy in the world, what does that do? That makes your heart just illuminate, and it just breaks down the walls here altogether. So they have basically amplified greatly what they were trying to prevent, right? And this is why Jonas has always said the corrupt will take down the corrupt, because they will never get what they want. It is an empty, hollow path, and that is not Earth's destiny, and that is not humanity's destiny. Humanity is going to explore the stars. Humanity is going to incarnate on many other different worlds, and they are going to be functioning as these great avatars of the universe, being great teachers and masters that are going to help other civilizations to mature. Because we've been through all the crap that you can imagine. We've been through it all. And we've been through it a lot more intensely than many other planets have. A lot of other planets don't have these kind of challenges. This is why I say, when you come to Earth, you better get ready to learn. You better get ready to majorly expand yourself, because you are going to see the complete and total essence of duality in ways you could not possibly imagine. And we've had this conversation, guys, pre-incarnationally. It's exactly what they told every single one of us. You guys better get ready, because if you're going onto Earth, you are going to see the heart of duality and the heart of separation created in an illusion that you could never even imagine. Oh, come on. Can't be that bad. I'm ready to go. I'm a volunteer. I'm a missionary. I'm going to come here and I'm going to help the planet in the best way that I can. And you were so absolutely sure that you could do this. And here you are right now. Right there. Right? That is the essence of your heart talking. And no matter what is put onto this heart, you break through it. And here you are now. And we have succeeded, my friends. It's like what I've been saying for the past few years right now. We've already been victorious. We have already won. We have already achieved what we are here to achieve. And that is to bring that love onto the planet. And it has to start from here. And then it radiates without. And then from that outwardness, whatever you want to manifest is yours, as long as that wealth is intact in here. Right? So everything that they have been trying to do, their ignorance has blinded them to realizing that they have basically culminated what they were trying to avoid. And that's exactly what the ego does. If you lead everything by the ego, you will have nothing but misery. If you lead everything by ego, you will have nothing but misfortune. If you lead by ego, you will have nothing but disappointment. And unfortunately, that's what the greedy have been led by, pure egotism. They have been led by their ahamkara. They have been led by their I-ness, their ego masquerading as themselves. And that is a recipe for untold disaster. And they're going to learn that. Throughout all of their lifetimes, throughout all of their progressions, they're going to learn that that is never the way. All right? So that's what I can share in regards to that response. Okay. David of Shield asks, the truth is that love is, not really asked, but the truth is that love is the most powerful force in the universe, and that love is the true essence of creation. True story. It is. It is. It's the very nature of what we are. The very nature that we are is love, is happiness, is joy, is bliss. You can put any particular word you want. There's some people that are so picky about, we say, oh, bro, don't use the word love, use the word bliss instead. Who gives a shit? Right? You can call it love, you can call it bliss, you can call it happiness, you can call it spirit, you can call it whatever you want. I really don't care what you call it, right? We're not so picky. The universe doesn't give a damn of what you call it, right? You can call it blah, 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 right? But nonetheless, that is your essence, okay? And there are certain harmonic words that can work together with that, right? If we basically look into ancient Sanskrit, we could find some words that can represent the idea of the Atman in that way, right? And there's the idea of the nature of the soul, right? The Antar Atman, representing the inner soul, the inner guru, right? That's a beautiful thing. But even that doesn't matter. It's just tuning into the very frequency, tuning into the very vibration of what represents to you what is considered to be the highest love, the highest joy, the highest beingness that you are. And however you want to phrase that, even through harmonics, is fine. But like I said, it even goes beyond harmonics. It's just the nature of you, right? It is your sovereignty in totality. All right. Okay, guys, we're out of time for this week, or for this day, for the Signposts. So again, I'll be back tomorrow for New Earth TV Live at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. So again, we'll be doing a Dronus transmission, and then Q&A and distance healing will be interlocked together, mixed together. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow with you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Om Shanti, 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 Namaskar. May it be well with you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also etherics.co. And through Etherics, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through Etherics. You will also be able to pick up the Etherbed kit. That is also on Etherics as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on Etherics. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti, 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 Namaskar, and may it be well with you.